Nauczysz mnie czegoś o polowaniu?
Pewnie. Czemu nie? Masz już wszystkie umiejętności łowieckie, jakich mógłbym cię nauczyć. Musisz znaleźć sobie nowego nauczyciela.
Przyniosłem trofea.
Nieźle. Porządne trofea.
Tam! To jeszcze jedno z tych nikczemnych stworów. I jeszcze jeden parszywy.
Okay, I have 51 learning points. I can invest a little bit in strength. I'm not gonna invest fully into either strength or dexterity or one-handed or two-handed weapons because I think I'm gonna save up learning points for later and then have like what I like to call an ultimate save before joining a guild, like you always do in these games, and then be able to continue from that save and choose like different path and stuff. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I could fully invest myself into something now, but I think I'm gonna save that up for later. But I
Hej,
will get strength now.
chcę by...
Now it's 10 learning points.
Tak trzymaj.
And unlike Gothic 2, it's pointless here to go like to 29 strength and then go to 34 for 5 learning points. Like that's not possible here. And that's okay.
Mam wszystko, czego potrzebuję.
Proszę, to dla ciebie.
Udało mi się zdobyć drewno, o które prosiłeś.
Dobra robota, chłopcze. Ten zapas pozwoli nam załatać parę dziur i wymienić przegniłe deski.
Swoją drogą Johan przesyła pozdrowienia.
Nie wiem, jak udało ci się go przekonać do oddania czegokolwiek, ale zaskoczyłeś mnie, chłopcze. Wygląda na to, że jesteśmy kwita, a przynajmniej jeśli chodzi o ciebie.
Jest coś jeszcze do zrobienia?
Gnój przerzucać umiesz?
Nie znalazłbyś dla mnie czegoś innego?
Z wami to zawsze problemy. Pasterz o imieniu Oto skarżył się, że potrzebuje pomocy. Powiedz, że cię przysyłam. Zrób, o co cię poprosi i wróć do mnie.
Gdzie znajdę Oto?
Na co dzień kręci się w pobliżu stodoły po drugiej stronie placu. Wygląda jak duża chata z zagrodą.
Tyle mi wystarczy. Wrócę niedługo.
Nie sądzę, żeby w tej sprawie coś się zmieniło.
To przecież okropne.
Hej! Wynoś się z mojego pałacu!
Przysyła mnie Bastian. Podobno masz jakieś kłopoty.
Ano mam. Stodołę trzeba wysprzątać. Była powódź. Musiałem zamknąć wszystkie owce w środku i teraz śmierdzi tam tak, że się wytrzymać nie da. Zbierz cały gnój i wróć z nim do mnie. Tylko nie wywalaj mi go na kompost. Szkoda nawozu marnować.
Dostanę przynajmniej jakąś miotłę?
Nie ma miotły. Musisz zbierać rękami.
Dobra, wrócę niedługo.
No. Przynieś tyle gnoju, ile znajdziesz.
Tak, to bardzo typowe.
Wysprzątałem całą stodołę, bierz.
O nie. Trzymaj ten gnój, bo zaraz ci powiem, co masz z nim zrobić. Narazko, drań jeden, jakich mało. Zazdrości mi. Od kiedy wywaliłem go ze stodoły za nieróbstwo. Wiem, że to Rasko ukradł najdroższą Betsy. Moją szczęśliwą owcę. Dał mi ją Sir Ramsay wiele wiosen temu. Teraz bidulkę Rasko pewnie już dawno przerobił na kotlety. A ja tu siedzę i płaczę. Ale Rasko dostanie to, na co zasługuje. Pójdzie do jego chaty i włoży gnój do łóżka.
Co takiego?
To co słyszysz? Rasko odechce się żartować i ze mnie śmiać, bo będę od niego sprytniejszy.
Skąd wiesz, że to Rasko ukradł ci owce?
Czuję to w kościach. Tak samo różne rzeczy czuła w kościach moja babunia. Mam ten sam dar. Rasko to zły człowiek. Zazdrosny i mściwy. Nie moja wina, że Rasko nie lubił pracować. Ramsay dał mi stodołę i tuzin owiec za moją pracę. Od tamtej pory Rasko ciągle mi dokucza.
Gdzie znajdę Rasko?
Mieszka w małej chacie za gospodą. Tam, gdzie reszta biedaków.
Zobaczę, co da się zrobić.
Jak to dobrze załatwisz, to sowicie cię wynagrodzę. Oj, wynagrodzę! Tylko pamiętaj, zrób to, gdy Rasko nie będzie w domu. I uważaj, bo drań przebiegły jest i ma oczy dookoła głowy.
So we found Bruce. Now we can try to find Betsy. You might have heard about them in Gothic 2 on Onar's farm. Come on, dude, do it for the camera. Come on, you can do it. It's building up. Come on. Just one time. Amazing. Thank you.
A będzie jeszcze gorzej.
Tak dalej być nie może.
Każdemu jest ciężko.
Nie sądzę, żeby w tej sprawie coś się zmieniło.
Oh yeah, it's also time for us to read a lot. I have lots of gold, so yeah, let's do it. Because books give nice lore, they give nice experience.
Floro, twoja wędrówka dobiegła końca. Niech bogowie otworzą przed tobą bramy swego królestwa. A miłościwy Adanos niech obdarza opieką twego strudzonego ojca, dopóki nie dołączy do ciebie w wiecznej szczęśliwości.
Chwila.
Jeszcze raz dziękuję za twoją pomoc.
Chwila. Pohandlujmy.
So, let's buy all of this. Silver Court. Types of damage. So you get XP for each one, but when you read the whole set, you get like a set bonus for reading all of them. So let's begin. Silver Court Volume 1. A book about the beginnings of the village of Silbach by an unknown author. For many years, scholars and simple men could not decide what is the true treasure of Archolos. Some say it is wine. In the company of this beverage, countless treaties were signed, kings crowned, and wars declared. Others would say that it is gold. After all, due to merchant contracts, the island is now called Vanguard of the East. For me, however, that treasure has always been silver. Legends tell that many years before robbers, traders, and lords tore apart the goods of this island, mountain caves were teeming with an immense source of silver. Eventually, the greed of some foreign king led to a landslide, due to which silver ore fragments fell into creek below. In such a way, people started to name it Silver Creek, and in its basin, the village of Silbach was built. Old merchant documents from that period confirm that the village was the place for unloading silver. There was so much of this raw material around that people would call Silbach Silver Court. Raftsmen would carry immeasurable amounts of silver ore to the town and to the mouth of the river. It was silver that made Silbach flourish and turned it into one of the key transit points on Archolos. The earliest records about Silbach suggest that the village could be built in the period following the arrival of Maximus III, king of Myrtana. According to oral traditions, however, the settlement existed already before the time of the coming of iron-clad warriors from beyond the Great Sea. Presumably, Silbach was then nothing more than a bunch of huts which, due to flourishing trade, grew to the size of regular village. After Maximus's invasion, the town of Archolos was turned into a ruin, and its reconstruction to a Myrtanian-styled city lasted many years. At this time, Silbach, situated in the center of the island, became the main trade point on the island. Although due to the king's reforms, the old order was rooted out from the town, traditions found their way to flourish outside it. Despite being part of the kingdom of Myrtana, Silbach became a refugee for local habits. There is no doubt that through nurturing memories of the old times, villagers speak so proudly of their land and crops it gives birth to. But they also scorn townsfolk, whom they call a rotten fruit of traitors and foreign aggressors. One day I met a farmer, a mage, and an alchemist. All of them had their theory explaining the fertility of the soil around Silbach. The farmer claimed that the village learned how to tame the forces of nature with their hard work. The mage, however, believed that the gratitude belongs to Adanos, who in his generosity regularly brings rain upon the fields. The alchemist, on the other hand, stated that the volcanic soil increases the growth of crops. Perhaps only one of them was right, all or no one. Each of them, however, agreed that sooner or later Silbach will become torn apart by different factions battling over its wealth. Looking at the village today, I can say that they were right. Archolos Guild ceaselessly sends their scouts to herd wild beasts near the village, so later they can gloriously come to the villagers' rescue and bound them with lifetime contracts. Wolf sons, however, tend to threaten and remind them about historical affiliations. This jousting is carefully watched by Godfrey, the governor of Archolos, who introduced the vassal system. From the most honored people of Silbach, he chose the man whom he gave noble title, and the village together with the areas around it. The price for such a gift, however, was meant to be a boundless service to the crown. Sir Bodrin, also called Nestor, was the first ruler of Silbach. The governor expected he faithfully served the authorities of the town, often fulfilling the whims of townsfolk while disregarding the needs of his own people. Some say it was reason why no chronicle ever mentioned his name. After Baudrin's death, his son Sir William took the rulership over Silbach. On the first day of his governance, he visited the church in the town where he swore service to Archolos and Myrtana. His rule was constant struggle for keeping the balance between needs of townsfolk and the villagers. One summer, William was taken by the plague, which broke out on the island. His son Ramsay was then but a youngling, so he remained under the custody of his mother. Thus, Lady Aldona, also called as Iron Lady, took control over Silbach. No ruler was ever close to her grandeur and determination. Despite governor's orders, Aldona built a large manor in Silbach, renewed the chapel of Adanos, and erected the watermill solely for villagers. For this and other reasons, she was brought to the town hall to explain herself. But whenever Lady Aldona spoke, the governor and his lapdogs looked beside her like a bunch of scared little rats. And here we have Sir William, Lord, and Lady Aldona. Pretty cool. And Flora, that we knew from the ship. And that's it. Now this is the last book, so now I should get some bonus from it. I got hit points +7 for reading all of it. Lady Aldona ruled Silbach wisely, and many people speak highly of her even today. No lord before her had enough courage to stand in opposition to governors and fight for the good of the people of Silbach. After Ramsay came of age, his mother until the end of her days remained at his side, advising him in political and economical matters. Sir Ramsay took the place of Lady Aldona when he finished 24 Springs, and rules the village till this day. The people of Silbach, however, don't find in him the strength of his mother, nor the peace of his father. Years after years, he is more like his grandfather, both in appearance and character. Today, Governor Morris decided to take advantage of Ramsay's passion for hunting and allowed him to organize yearly ventures across the island. Having tasted lavish town life year after year, Ramsay more and more scarcely visits his home village. Many people of Silbach wished to rise against Ramsay, but the governor had a plan for it. In the place of the Lord, a village elder named Albin stepped in. His iron rules successfully quench voices of rebellion. The question remains, however, for how long? Types of damage, Volume 1. Since the dawn of time, humans have had to contend with all sorts of beasts, including other humans who try to take from them what they want so far. The key to success in this fight is knowing the different types of damage, defense, and their interrelations. The most common type of damage you will experience is edge damage, otherwise known as damage from blades. Those come from all kinds of swords, spears, and axes, as well as claws and fangs of monsters. Its overall usefulness is very high, but in few fights it gives significant advantage. The next type of damage is blunt damage. Such damage is done by mace, hammers, fists, and many monsters that strike with a large paw or head. Blows are especially effective against heavy armor, bones, or boulders. Ranged weapons always cause projectile wound, like edge wound. They have high overall utility, but in few cases they are practically useless. Arrows bounce off the stone or even thick leather, and hitting skeleton bone is not easy either. The hardest type of damage to describe by far is flight, wind, and fall damage. This is a very diverse category that includes attacks that are not very common. No armor has yet created to protect against these types of wounds. Each creature has its own resistance to them. For humans, learned acrobatics may prove to be the only additional protection, as it allows them to properly distribute the energy of the blow. Usually, the larger and heavier the creature, the greater the resistance, while light and bony creatures are extremely susceptible to them. The next type of damage is magic damage, and it comes directly from spells. Additionally, most spells also cause an elemental reaction, which can weaken or strengthen the damage depending on the creature that is subjected to it. Water can shatter stone into tiny pieces, fire can incinerate the undead, and lightning can instantly kill flying creatures. Poison and acid damage from certain toxic creatures works in a similar fashion. And the last one for the bonus, I got mana and strength +1. The magic damage associated with a specific element also seems to be affected by weather. During a downpour, the power of spells related to lightning increases significantly, while the effectiveness of fire spells decreases. Don't underestimate the weakness of certain magic. Lightning, for example, doesn't need downpour to deal massive damage to water. The last type of damage is fire damage, and should not be confused with the fire elemental reaction mentioned earlier. Fire defense allows you to protect yourself from flames coming from a non-magical source, such as fire lizard's breath, as well as from burning effects caused after being hit by a fire spell. Although these are very rare types of damage, you should be adequately protected, as they can kill in the blink of an eye. So now,
Ej, ty.
I can just sell all of this. Let me read this. Herb stew. A mix of
Rozumiem.
vegetables and herbs. It'll taste good to anyone who craves a warm meal.
Ej, ty. Nie widziałeś gdzieś szwendającej się samopas owcy?
Ta, widziałem. Ale to było szmat czasu temu, a zwierzę już dawno zdechło.
Jak to się stało?
Patrolowałem obszar w pobliżu rzeki, gdy nagle usłyszałem rzężenie zwierzęcia, dobiegające z pobliskiego zapadliska. Pobiegłem sprawdzić, co się stało i zobaczyłem wilka dobierającego się do owcy. Musiała wcześniej spaść ze skarpy, bo miała połamane kopyta, ale wciąż wierzgała, przedłużając swoją agonię. Wilka szybko ubiłem. Owca była jednak w opłakanym stanie. Nie pozostało mi nic innego, jak oszczędzić jej bólu.
Jak wyglądała ta owca?
Jak to owca, z tym, że jedno ucho miała naderwane. Możliwe, że wilk po prostu je odgryzł.
Pokaż mi swoje towary.
Let's read this as well. Blood flies. So this explains types of damage, resistance of enemies, their vulnerabilities, locations, and some of the advices. Keep a higher position, step on a small stone or provoke it to fly up the hill you are standing on. Avoid high ledges. In the confusion, you may fall down with bloodfly, and only they can fly. For the river one, they fight exactly like normal bloodflies. The only difference is that they have more stamina and a sharper stinger. The swamp one, they are quite tough for their small size. In contrast to other bloodflies, they prefer spitting acid and only attack with their stinger when the opponent is very close. Let's see boars. Despite appearances, they are more likely to strike with their massive head than with their fangs. It is best to prepare your armor for blunt damage and evade them like wolves. Beasts. Field Raider and Forest Raider. Despite their sizable size, they're not very hardy. They often feed in larger groups, but it is very easy to lure out individuals who are virtually defenseless when charging. And the forest one? In contrast to field specimen, they are much tougher and can sting really hard. Their dark carapaces camouflage them perfectly in dark thickets. You might not even notice them at night. Goblins. Often circle around prey. Do not allow yourself to be surrounded. It's the same for normal, for black one, let's see, warrior. It's the same for skeleton one, it's different. They live in smaller groups than other goblins, easier to lure out one at a time. Lurkers, let's see. Their stride is very sluggish, but they can attack with their paws from very far away. They usually circle their opponent to strike a blow from the side. They often feed in groups and are extremely dangerous. When one individual occupies the attention of the prey, the other immediately proceeds to attack. The sea ones, they live in much smaller groups than their normal counterparts, but despite this, they use very similar fighting tactics. Due to their environment, they are much more resilient and can hit extremely hard, with their paws used for swimming. Mole rats. Their fat bodies offer little protection, but do not underestimate them. Mole rats, especially in groups, can be deadly. Rats. Overgrown rodent often chooses to feed on found carrion instead of fighting, even of its own kind. And that's really cool AI mechanic, because rats, when you kill them, they will feed on any corpse that's nearby. While for example scavengers, they also feed on corpses, but not on their own kind. Same goes for like snappers, dragon snappers, wolves. Swamp rat looks like a cross between mole rat and a giant rat. Due to its fat body, it moves and fights like the former. Black rat, much larger than the other rat species. It is also much more resistant to damage. Like other rats, it will often choose carrion over battle. Scavengers. Easy to hunt but pecks hard. Better not get pecked first. The forest one, tougher than its appearances suggest. They peck very hard, but are easy to lure out individually. And wolves, so there's no normal one. When they are far from the opponent, they try to jump towards them. They are even easy to evade. The same is for black wolf. For warg, they bite very hard and occur in packs. Recommended weakening the group from a distance. Orc dog. Run away. There must be orcs nearby. Do not be confused with wargs. Not to be confused with wargs.
Ej, ty.
And now...
Pokaż mi.
Let's sell all of this. So now, I can continue with Atho's quest, or tell him what happened to his sheep.
Chyba wiem, co się stało z twoją owcą. Wygląda na to, że się myliłeś. Rasko nie porwał twojej Betsy.
Nie? Jak to nie?
Markus powiedział mi, że w czasie burzy znalazł owcę z naderwanym uchem, która odłączyła się od stada i została napadnięta przez wilka. Myśliwy co prawda zdołał zabić bestię, ale owcy nie udało mu się uratować.
Powinienem był po nią wrócić i szukać. Szukać, aż bym znalazł. Ale tego nie zrobiłem.
Miałeś resztę stada pod opieką. Zrobiłeś, co musiałeś zrobić.
Może i masz rację, ale i tak sobie tego nie wybaczę. Nie jestem bogaty, ale proszę, weź ten pas. Dostałem go od krawca z miasta.
Leather belt. And I still have the cake.
Mnie nie musisz o to pytać.
To bardzo prawdopodobne.
Niektóre problemy same się rozwiązują.
Ej, ty! Przysyła mnie Oto. Wysłał mnie, żebym podłożył ci do łóżka paczkę z owczym łajnem.
Widzę, że na nietęgie żarty mu się zebrało.
Mówił, że porwałeś mu jego owcę o imieniu Betsy.
Nigdy nie dotknąłem jego cholernej owcy. Pewnie po prostu gdzieś się zgubił. Ale jasne, najprościej zwalić winę na mnie. Słuchaj no, mam dla ciebie propozycję. Nie wiem, ile obiecał ci Oto, ale zapłacę ci 2 razy tyle, co on. Jeśli podrzucisz to łajno do dworskiej kuchni.
Co dostanę w zamian?
Najpierw zrób to, co ci powiedziałem, a później pogadamy o nagrodzie.
Po co miałbym to robić?
Gdyby nie łaska Ramzeja, to Oto dalej byłby żebrakiem. Ale Ramzej jest daleko stąd, a zarządcą wioski jest Albyn. Oto od dawna ma z nim na pieńku. Widząc taką niespodziankę, starszy łatwo chwyci przynętę i ten bęcwał dostanie to, na co zasługuje.
W porządku, zrobię to.
Dobry wybór, mały. Zakradnij się nocą do dworu Ramzeja, kiedy wszyscy będą smacznie chrapać. Zostaw zawiniątko w kuchni, najlepiej między zapasami. Nad ranem smród ogarnie cały dwór, a Albin będzie wściekły. Po wszystkim wróć do mnie, a dostaniesz nagrodę.
Basics of pickpocketing.
Co jest?
Zrobiłem, co chciałeś.
Teraz tylko czekać, aż oto wyląduje na dywaniku u Albyna. A teraz w sprawie nagrody. Jeśli chcesz złota, to uprzedzam, że nie jestem bogaty, ale mam tu taki jeden pierścień. Nie pamiętam już, gdzie go zdobyłem, ale możesz go sprzedać za parę dobrych monet. Mogę też ci zdradzić, jak się dostać do miasta.
So this is cool. He can tell you information how to get into town.
Powiedz mi, jak się dostać do miasta.
Przy jednej z bram powinien stacjonować strażnik Edgar. Straszny z niego sukinsyn. Krzywo spojrzysz, a już będzie szykował się do bitki. Natomiast jego kolega ma serce ze złota. Już niejednemu pomógł i wpuścił do miasta. Przygotuj i zaproponuj mu dokładnie 75 złotych monet. To nasze hasło. Po każdej innej sumce da sobie z tobą spokój. Jeśli się pomylisz, to zostanie ci droga kanałami, a mówię ci, tego bardzo byś nie chciał.
So there it is. But I'm not gonna do this. Kinda feel bad for Otho, you know. I just told him bad news about his sheep. And then to make his life worse by doing this for Roscoe, I'm not in this playthrough, you know.
Właściwie może być go tylko żal.
But let's do this for fun.
Inaczej bym się do tego zabrał.
Rasko dostał za swoje.
Chciałbym zobaczyć minę Rasko, jak zobaczy niespodziankę. Nie jestem bogaty, ale proszę, weź to złoto. Zasługujesz na nie.
Let's see pickpocketing. Five learning points. Let's do it. Also learn sneaking.
Ej, ty! Co tu robisz?
Pomogłem pasterzowi z jego problemem.
Mam nadzieję, że nie kazał ci robić niczego głupiego.
Nie zupełnie, ale jakoś sobie poradziłem.
Cały oto. Gdyby nie to, że robotę dał mu sam Ramsey, dziwak już dawno wyleciałby stąd na zbity łeb.
Hej, ty!
Portion of Martha's stew.
Hej, ty!
Nie widzisz, że...
Hej, ty! Hej, ty! Hej, ty! Hej, ty! Mam wszystko.
Jestem zajęty.
Okay, so the whole gang is here.